everybody. It is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. This is Prime Nation Live. I'm Sydney Roberts.
I'm Tyler Wood.
And I'm Cameron Smith.
Jacob Motzinger?
Yeah, we got Jacob Motzinger from Memory Lane, brother of Ben Motzinger, who was with us a couple weeks ago.
And I'm Tanner Methvin. Wow, my voice cracked for some reason.
And we have Jimmy Smith, who will be joining us shortly. Ran into a bit of traffic. So on this day...
Sure he did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
On this day, although there was a pretty crazy storm last night. Did any of you guys lose power?
Nope.
I went, to...
Yeah.
Oh, I just went to the comedy club and had to walk to my car in that storm thing. That was not fun. I was very wet.
The
As
parking
most
lot.
storms are.
The parking lot outside of my apartment complex likes to flood, so that was fun.
Yeah,
He said
sounds
you might
like
want
it.
to actually turn up the mix just a little bit.
Ooh.
Are you sure it likes to flood, or it just
It loves
flooded-
it. If it
flooded
didn't love it, it
couldn't
wouldn't do it so
help
much.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
It's valid.
Yep.
Sometimes people get wet and they don't want to.
Yep, that's me all the time, even when
That's-
I'm showering.
Me when I enter my parking lot.
What
Jake,
kind of-
how happy are you to be on this show right now?
Enthralling conversation, is it not?
You just got to get into it. You got to feel it. It's starting to work, guys.
But what kind of flooding are we talking about? Are you talking like in danger of the cars?
The cars will be okay.
Yeah.
They're becoming sentient, so that, they can move in the middle of the night. So I got my Lightning McQueen. He's gonna move out. He's
Just
fine. It's fine.
Just some soggy shoe type flooding.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Oh, yeah.
I suspect.
Like,
All right, well.
maybe this much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
A solid
soggy
3
shoe flood.
inches. Yeah.
Solid 3 inches, but across a big parking lot.
A soft inch and a half.
Someone should have engineered that parking lot better, is the moral of the story. Getting around on this day, what are the two we decided on? Let's see, 1865 was the first ever train robbery in the U.S., at least first documented, and it happened in Cincinnati. I would have predicted it was like a old Western, Billy the Kid type thing going on. Tanner, do you know who was the famous train robber? Not the lady from Holes.
Oh, you mean old Trains McGee?
Yeah, that's actually where they got the name Train from.
Yeah, Trains McGee is as good as a guess as I have. It wasn't like Billy the Kid, was it?
No, but it was. I feel like there
Billy
was
the Train?
It was one of those guys who earned a
Kid the
reputation.
It's Thomas.
Tommy. God, he beat me to it.
Oh well.
You know what? That would actually be cool. I would like to see a Thomas the Tank Engine special where
Where
they're
he gets robbed?
Yeah,
And
but it's
gets
like
shot.
a full-on train robbery, and they're robbing him of his organs and like going inside him and taking all his stuff.
He doesn't have organs.
How do you know?
He has a coal.
Yeah, they could be
coal
stealing
system.
his coal. I wonder if anyone
Yeah.
ever did have a train robbery just to steal coal.
Do you think that they have Thomas the Tank Engine on Rule 34?
Oh, dude, are
definitely.
you- yeah,
I'm sure they do.
So,
I've
It's
seen
about
Rule-
time for a reinvention of Thomas the Tank Engine. 2017.
Would you
Let's get the dark story behind
race-
it.
yeah.
Just like they
Thomas
did
the
with
Spank
uh,
Engine.
Let's get the hard R, Thomas the
Yeah,
Tank
what
Engine.
happened to his parents? That's what we want to know.
show of hands?
What's he going to do about it?
Who would run a train on Thomas?
As a conductor, I sure would, but
I'm
I'm the only one that's
not-
showing hands.
I actually don't find that train to be all that attractive.
yeah, no. I was gonna say though, I mean, it lends itself to Rule 34 pretty easily. They're already so phallic shaped, and they have plenty of tunnels they go through. And
Yeah, Cam, you're like, do you think there is? I've seen Rule 34. I've been like, okay, I know the joke is like if there's something, there's porn of it, but I'm like, okay, there's some exceptions. There are no exceptions.
Hey, of course, sorry to
Go.
not elaborate on that, but of course it was Jesse James who I was thinking of.
Mm.
Jesse James, the train robber.
Oh, the bicycle, the motorcycle man.
Jesse James.
And I see this article here. I was about to call hijinks because it says the Great Gold Robbery of 1855, but I found out it took place in Britain, not
Do you mean
U.S.
shenanigans?
Thank God.
Yes. Well, hijinks is my version of shenanigans, where it's even more lighthearted.
Oh, that's real nice.
Again, on this day, May 5th, was 1977. The first Frost-Nixon interviews were broadcast. So,
Did anyone ever see that movie?
No.
I never did, no.
It was good.
I was about to hand it over to you anyway, Tanner, because I imagine you could fill us in more than anyone about the implications of the Frost-Nixon tapes.
I mean, it was the first major interview they had with Nixon after the Watergate. Basically after his resignation. And he was very much like an unknown. It was a very weird choice.
Robert Frost, you mean?
Yeah, Robert Frost was a very...
Wait, no, surely his name wasn't Robert Frost, too. Robert Frost was the poet.
I think his name might have been Robert Frost, but I'll have to double check.
I'll look it up right now.
But I mean, yeah, it was just... He basically... the first couple tapes were it was super popular. It was like the most watched broadcast thing, at the time. But there wasn't a lot of juicy stuff from the tapes until the last one, and they got him on camera saying, "I'm saying that when the president does it, it makes it not illegal." And that, of course, everyone was like, "What?"
Well, that set a precedent that lasts till today, apparently.
A precedent.
Yeah, and it was David Frost. Robert Frost
Okay.
is the poet who I believe, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure he's the one who wrote Two Roads Diverged in the Yellow Wood, or whatever
and
that
one
was
of them
called.
led
Not
to a
taken?
train that you robbed.
I think that's The Road Not Taken.
That is the name of it, yes, thank
Yes, great poem.
you. Yeah,
I know that one. That's why it's great.
That's a good. You know the whole thing?
I know the basics. Isn't that
yeah.
enough?
Yeah,
As-
I know that first line. That's all you need to know for people to think you're smart.
As a poetry major, I just want to say that Robert Frost is very cliche and is almost a
Can you
big
mute his
no-no
mic?
to mention him in any of. Is it muted? I feel like I can't even hear myself.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
have
mine's
the
really
headphone
low.
mix.
We can figure it out.
Is
over
it just the
break.
headphone volume?
Yeah, it's just the
Okay,
headphone
There
mix.
we go.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, giving out the shop talk to the listeners.
Mute his microphone. He's being obnoxious.
So that is all of our. Oh, I guess it is worth
Robert
noting
Frost.
too that it is Adele's birthday. Adele's turning 28 today,
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's a good computer.
and also Karl Marx.
Oh, that's a good computer.
Oh.
That's
Karl
that's
Marx.
a double birthday party I want to go to.
Yeah, really.
How cliche is Karl Marx?
About as cliche as Sylvia Plath. What do you got for me next? Eric Carl.
Who's that?
Illustrator
Hungry
of the very
Caterpillar
Hungry
author.
Caterpillar.
Eric Carl is a genius. Don't-
I
don't
love
you-
Eric Carl. No,
Yeah.
no.
Don't you dare besmirch Eric Carl.
I'm surprised that we had two people in the room who automatically knew who Eric Carl was. What other works is he?
All those children's books like Hungry Caterpillar
Hungry
and
Caterpillar.
What about if you give a mouse a cookie?
no, that's definitely not.
That's not him. I
So
know
just
there's
all the
other
ones with that illustration style.
I think there's some grasshopper or like
Yes,
a cricket one.
Yeah, the ant and the
Karate Kid?
grasshopper. It's the classic story. I mean, you've heard it in like folklore, but it's where it's like the ant or the grasshopper is just being a douche and just not working, and the ant is just working super hard to
So A
survive
Bug's Life.
winter. What?
A Bug's Life.
Yeah, it's a bug's
It's
life.
basically a bug's
Yeah,
life.
except the grasshopper is just super chill, but he dies at the end because
Good.
Yeah,
Did they build a fake bird in that?
I
in
think that
story?
one oh yeah, he wrote the Grouchy Ladybug.
Oh, the grouchy ladybug.
Well, if you're just going to add
Oh.
adjectives in front of insects, anyone
I
can do that.
I actually do remember this one. Polar bear, what do you hear?
I hear ice melting. What do you hear?
I hear my habitat being destroyed, and Santa Claus, and Coca-Cola's being cracked. No, I lost you guys there.
Oh man.
If you did it in rhyme, I'd be more likely to jump on board
Or-
this train
Or in a
before it gets
beautiful
robbed.
illustration. Yeah.
Well, at least he deviated
Jimmy.
from the formula there. Hey, it's old Jimmy Smith. We got your microphone going right there.
Jay Himmy.
Nobody warmed up the couch. I'm a little upset.
Well, I'm sorry,
cold
man.
couch.
It's okay.
We all had our butts in seats, man.
It's okay.
We all had our suts and beats, man.
It's another phrase that people learning the very hungry caterpillar are very likely to hear. Butts and seats, or probably bottoms, more accurately. Anyway, we'll get around to pop culture on this day. Lagunitas. Lagunitas sold to Heineken. Tanner, you posted this story, and you and Jimmy seem to be the most opinionated about it, so I'll send it over to you guys.
Well, I'm curious because we talked a little bit about this before the show started, so I'm mainly curious right now what Jimmy thinks.
Yeah, Jimmy's coming in
I
blind.
just hope the quality doesn't go down.
I think
That's-
at the end of the day, that's all it is. No one wants the quality to go down. There we go. Now you're visible. Yeah, no one wants the quality to go down. Actually, by the way, I'm actually drinking Lagunitas right now for Double Fist Friday.
You're actually doing that?
Yes.
Is that the
Nothing
little
green screened.
Is that the little something?
No, that's
it's
just the
it's just a
regular.
regular IPA.
Okay, gotcha.
Don't listen to him. It's superimposed beer. Tanner told me before the show. He says, honestly, Cameron, I've never had a beer in my life.
It's probably a
I'm
Heineken.
I'm scared of them.
Cam, I've been surprised whenever like we do Double Fist Fridays or whatever, and how low your tolerance is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
take
he's a
that. You're gonna
youngin'.
punch him in the side of the head like
Give
a man.
give me a Lagunita. Let me chug that son of a gun.
Yeah, I forgot to pick up beers, so that's on me for this Double Fist Friday. But Jimmy, yeah, we
I don't
were
need an excuse to drink. At
we
10 in
were
the morning.
talking about it a little bit before you got here, like we said. Do you know of? Can you think of a brewery who has decreasing quality or like ABV or anything like that once they sold?
I'm just new to drinking, and now I'm realizing I don't need to be doing it so heavily. But I haven't really paid attention. This is the first time it's ever like I'm hearing about a beer company getting sold to another one. It's actually like bothered me a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's still, I mean,
Bud
It's-
Light used to be a fine, hard lager.
And then they
Now-
got sold to
now look
Anheuser-Busch.
at-
and
now
the
look
quality
at
went down.
Well, and what was the Wicked Weed? Obviously sold earlier this week as well to AB InBev, which owns Anheuser-Busch. But there was one that happened a couple years ago. I think maybe
Oh.
Sam Adams.
Yeah, well, I love the big. I think the first big craft brew like buyout was Goose Island by AB InBev, and I think that was for like $50,000, and then a
What?
couple of
That's
years
nothing.
ago. Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
nothing.
No, you're saying it's nothing because at the time that seemed like a lot for a craft beer company. And then what is it like Sculpin or not? Maybe not Sculpin. Somebody, yeah, I think it was Sculpin. Like got bought for $500 million.
Yeah, like
if
I don't
Goose
even.
Island had held on a little longer, they could be rich.
I don't
You know
even
they're
think you
kicking
could do
themselves
like
now.
a full run of Goose Island for $50,000.
Yeah, no, they really did. Like
No,
they
they sold for $38.8 million.
sold, okay, but that's still nothing compared to the
So
half
close,
a
so
billion.
close.
Yeah, I mean $500 million. That's a big difference there, but also quite a difference from 50,000 as well. And who was it? Who you said Sculpin sold? For?
I think Ballast Point, the
Ballast
makers
Point,
of
okay,
Sculpin,
for
sold for
500,000.
500 billion or
500 million. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. And do you know? I mean, I'm sure probably market valuation or something like that had to do with it too, as opposed to just like the waiting and times. But I guess that could have done it too because craft beer has gotten so much more popular. I mean, when would you guys say that craft beer really took off? I know that-
I couldn't. tell.
2011.
Yeah, I would say like
So
right
it feels-
before I moved to
feels
Wilmington.
good.
That's
2011.
pretty accurate. I, would say, like, I don't know. Cape Fear Wine and Beer moved. I remember they moved from Water Street to Front Street, and then like 6 months later, the place was packed all the
Mhm.
time, and craft beer was just exploding.
Oh,
So,
it was
so
like-
they started the boom.
That's when I started getting. That's when I started getting snobby about it. So
They're even like I mean, it's been a long time coming. I'd say really. A lot of it's thanks to I think it was the early 2000s where Sierra Nevada put out their IPA, and that was like a huge thing, and they spread that everywhere. That's one of those big when you look back at like the rise of craft beer. That's a huge one, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the early 2000s. So I mean, it's been what, Cam?
I'm just seeing Sydney look up craft beer on Google, like like he's saying, like, what is craft beer? like what is the definition of
Just going
craft
into
beer?
this whole thing
No,
blind.
Sydney's totally right to do that because you look up the craft beer definition, and even like the beer, so-called like writers or whatever will tell you like it's a pretty loose definition of what counts as a craft beer.
Yeah, because what I was looking for was the actual amount of gallons that you have to fall under to still be considered a craft beer. Because I think we talked about a little on the show that Walmart got in trouble because they were selling a beer, like they had 4 different types of beers that they were selling as craft beers that turned out to be made in bulk, which is like I think that's the most commonly agreed upon definition of a craft brewery is
Yes,
one that only,
it's-
I want to say it's like less than 500,000 gallons per year or something
yeah,
like that.
it's the quantity, but at the same time, a lot of people would say Goose Island is a craft beer, and they're owned by AB InBev and put out a lot of beer.
I thought you were about to say, some people say it's the quantity. I say it's the quality that defines a craft beer.
Quality over
It's a missed
quantity.
opportunity.
You
right
see,
now.
a craft beer is a lot like a film, and a non-craft
Mute
beer
it.
is a lot
Turn
like
it off.
Yeah, you might be
unplug
onto
it.
something now.
You know what? Hey, just a quick question, Jake. Do you believe that there is a difference between a movie and a film?
Is this a high,
And
Yeah,
don't-
we're
no
leading
one
you
say
into
anything.
fun.
Yeah,
no
we're
one
leading
say
you in.
anything.
He doesn't know where we lie.
I mean, no, not really. I mean, I can see where you could try to make like The Rock isn't in film. He stars in movies.
Yeah, yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I
Good
mean
man,
that's
good
the
man.
only
Yeah.
way that
Yeah.
we viewed it, and that there is like a sort of hierarchical difference between like purely art house movies, like things that are made not formulaically to bring in producers or
You
money
watch
for the
films with your
producers.
pinky out.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so there is.
And
You
watch
do.
movies with a big old
So there is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
difference.
yeah.
You're saying there is a difference.
Not whatsoever.
We
And
don't
you
need
drink-
to go
there
into
is
the
no
There's
difference.
not
Good.
a
Jake.
definitive
I win.
difference.
Jake,
There's
if you
not
could,
a,
lean in
a
closer to the mic when you
defined
speak.
official difference.
Can
it's
you
just
say?
sort of a connoisseurical
Holy crap! Is that a real word?
Yes.
Can you
Connoisseur?
write a Robert Frost-esque poem explaining your views on films versus movies?
I would be surprised if Cameron can
Is-
crank that out pretty quick.
Cameron, is there a
Yeah.
difference between a Robert Frost poem and an Eric Carle book?
Yes.
About 2 pages.
Yeah, Robert Frost doesn't have illustrations.
That's his loss.
That's true. Yeah, Eric Carle is a very talented illustrator, and Robert Frost don't know jack about that.
Uh-oh. You hear that,
Jack
Robert
Frost. That's what I'm hearing.
Don't
Long
know
dead
jack-
Robert
yeah.
Frost, you hear that?
2 fingers divulge in a woods, they're both middle ones. And
So, Jimmy, do you have a lot of concerns, or do you think that Lagunitas is going to be all right?
Hopefully it'll be all right. I'm just gonna, drink my Lagunitas craft beer and watch films now. Now that I know they go together.
Yeah, I
Films,
was
not
going to
movies.
say, yeah, you
Oh.
drink craft beers with films.
Yeah.
You drink a Bud Light with
With
a
a
movie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say my opinion. My whole thing is, yeah. if
We
this
didn't care.
was- Oh.
No, go ahead. Go. Sorry, I didn't mean to just.
Jimmy
shut you
gets
down.
here late and he runs things the way he sees
I didn't mean
fit.
to. I just didn't mean to shut you down.
No, you meant it. But no, I'll just say it's basically just agreeing. As long as the quality doesn't drop, who cares? But we were saying with Jake, you're a business owner, and you're you're totally understanding of this. And I feel like a lot of people who are like, I can't believe they'd sell out, haven't owned a business or run a business, because you sympathize with these guys. You said that.
I mean, how could you not? Like, all those dudes everything they worked for, they loved, just made them set for life.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't see how you can have a problem with that.
And it also is like, I mean, we might be saying, craft beer didn't really get started till 2011 in terms of being a phenomenon, but these guys have been working for decades in a lot of these breweries. It's not
For sure,
we
yeah.
we think of it like it just happened, but the popularity exploded. These guys have been making these beers for like 20 years.
Yeah, and you don't just become a brewer at a place like Lagunitas or like Wicked Wheat or anything like that off the streets. Like you actually, I mean, if you don't get formal training, you probably were an apprentice for a long time. You had lots of on-the-job training. What is that, Cameron?
He's writing a poem, a craft beer
I'm just
poem.
trying to figure out, is that
About
supposed to
films.
be...
This is an Eric Carle illustration.
okay.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, dang.
That's what I was figuring out. If it was a caterpillar,
Let me
if it
turn him
was-
into a
if it
caterpillar.
was going to be a butterfly or what. But it's almost time for our first
I
break.
have a final question. Everyone, let's go around the room. Money amount for you to give up your dream.
Oh, fair question. I'll start. $1 million.
Okay.
What are we going? What
Jimmy?
order are we going
Okay.
now?
10 million.
I think I can go with 1 million.
Give me $1 billion, I'll quit everything I do.
I guess the other thing is, though, I could use the money to finance my creative
Exactly.
dreams.
That's my
Right.
thinking.
No,
yeah.
you can never do it again.
Okay, then that's a lot more money I actually would want. Then I'd want at least 15, if not 20.
Is this assuming we only have one dream?
This
Yeah.
is like the number one dream.
Okay. Because number 2 would be totally fine.
Yeah, yeah. Just find a new
Yeah, you
dream
know
at
what?
that
That's,
point.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah, I'd give up my number 2 dream for $1 million, but my number 1, that's I need like 15 or 20.
Dude, what is your number one dream
Yeah.
that
We
you
need to
are
go around
valuing
with
it so high?
sex every day, all the time?
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
You would
Huh.
need a lot
You
of
can
money to
borrow my
finance that.
fleshlight. You just have to wear a condom. I thought we already covered that.
Like, I feel like, having multiple, would doing comedy and rapping and making movies, not films, would those be 3 separate dreams, or would just general success in all of those be considered one dream?
Well, you're writing, right?
What's it? I'm writing.
You're writing,
yeah,
right?
Okay.
That's-
Yeah,
We're
I guess I'm
grasping
writing
at
in all of
straws.
those.
We're going to
yeah.
try to define this very hypothetical
I-
situation.
No,
Shut
I'm
20
interested
million.
because I would.
We can head to break because it's already off the rails.
No,
I was asking like a profession, and Tanner's pulling that stuff over there.
I
with-
would like Eric Carle grasping at straws in front of me every day for $20 million.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we'll get Tyler's answer when we come back from break. But we'll be back here in about 10 minutes. Back from our first break. It is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, Prime Nation Live. Let's talk some more about pop culture.
Just real quick before we do that. Just real
okay.
quick.
We
Oh,
got it
boy.
queued up
Just-
already?
Just the finished Cam B.
Thank you so much, Tanner.
I like the amount of detail you put in. Like he's an aging bee.
So is it a self-portrait as a bee? Or is
yeah, that's me as a V for sure. me as a V.
I don't know if I've ever seen you with that little facial hair. You just is that bee stubble or is that just like
I imagine if I were
bee
a bee,
freckles?
I would feel confident enough in my jawline to have less facial hair, but I also wouldn't like do a clean shave.
Huh.
You know?
What kind of flowers do you think that you would try to pollinate if you were a bee?
The hot ones, right? Come on.
The ones
I
with
bet
low
I'm
self-esteem.
the kind of bee that would definitely try to pollinate a Venus flytrap or a cobra lily.
What's this book title?
What's his book?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Bad Boy Bee?
The the very sad bee.
Cam, do you
looks
mind if I just
happy.
have the bee face over your face for the rest of the show?
The very disgruntled
Nice.
bee.
It kind of looks like Dave Attell as a bee. So
Yeah.
that could fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe maybe
Needs
do a
a
little
hat.
cartoon about this bee and get Dave Attell to do the voice.
That would be awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Where he reviews pornos.
Yeah. No, that crossed the line, Jimmy. What do we have for pop culture?
Yeah, yeah. for
We
pop-
are a Christian talk radio station. and
Yeah,
I appreciate
Jimmy.
if you refrain from
I'm
such
sorry,
vile
David
things.
Tell
Sponsored
actually
by the
does
Bridge
that,
Church
so
on
I was
Market
just
Street.
throwing- never mind.
Oh
there we
man,
go.
so
Happened.
pop culture. This blurs the line between nerd and pop culture, but this speaks to everything that we picked up on yesterday with May 4th, which all these guys with ad blocker. Who all uses ad blocker in this room? Am I the only person who still lives in the Stone Age and doesn't have ad blocker?
I use it.
Okay, well then hopefully you guys saw how pervasive the May the 4th ads were.
I just like that you were like, God, guys, who uses ad blocker? Who's with me? No one. Not a single person in the room.
Forgive me for asking this, fellas. How old are you guys?
30.
30?
34.
34?
21.
Sydney, you act 35.
I act 60. So
You do? So everyone under 30 uses
Yeah.
ad blocker.
It makes sense. It sounds about right. But yeah, I mean, did you guys notice how many brands were using May the 4th advertising yesterday?
Yes, man.
Nope.
Like I said, I'm
Yeah, you've been in your bubble,
free
yeah.
comic book day cave.
Maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm losing my mind and I'm
You're
seeing
just
May
seeing
the 4th
Star
everywhere.
Wars just
yeah.
everywhere.
Every
But-
time you look at the date, you're like, it's another ad.
Yeah, now it's Cinco de Mayo.
Revenge of the Sith. He's gonna get some more there. Revenge of the Fifth.
Oh man,
Oh,
so
that's good. I never thought about
yeah,
that.
that is really good. Or even Revenge of the 6th.
You guys have ad blocker. That's why
Revenge
we saw
of the
it.
6th could be for all the hangovers people get from Cinco de Mayo. Anyway, I'm not going to keep making up fictional.
He's doing the white guy
Tie-ins.
smile. He's like,
Yeah, he's like, yeah,
That's a thought.
That is a thought.
I'm open for laughing if you're funny.
I was just like, it's crazy how pervasive Star Wars is now. When when it first debuted, you were like a straight up, not even a cool version of a nerd. Star Wars, and now every single brand on social media yesterday was using it to peddle their products. It's crazy, and I didn't know this till I was just seeing it. Apparently, The Force Awakens made $2.3 billion at the box office. Did you know that? That's ridiculous.
That's a lot of money.
Nah.
I expect you to know these things, Jake.
you own a comic book store. You run the business, right? You're one of them Jews that runs Hollywood. That's you, right?
I made no money off of Force Awakens 2.8 billion.
Yeah,
for what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
worth.
Jimmy, did you not notice any of the May the 4th ads?
No.
I'm all alone here.
No,
All right.
And you don't have ad blocker.
I do not.
Jimmy, do you
I
own
saw May the Schwartz be with you.
Ah,
Did you
yeah,
even get
yeah.
on the freaking internet
Do
yesterday?
you have a
young man?
computer, you caveman?
I stumbled upon one. Stubbed my toe on
on
it.
Stumble Upon.
Oh yes, it's like actually how I discovered the internet.
Do
Oh.
people still use StumbleUpon? I used to spend hours every night on StumbleUpon my senior year of high school.
I'm too busy on Omegle, man.
No one.
No one knows what that is, and that's fine.
Omegle is the chat site, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's like
Yikes.
chat roulette, but a little bit better.
Better in what way?
More penises.
I remember
100% more.
Yes.
I remember doing chat roulette once with a bunch of friends as
gonna
a
be good.
goof. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because it was mostly people masturbating, mostly men, but I was so used to like clicking away immediately that the one time there was a woman masturbating, I immediately clicked away and everyone got mad at me.
It was probably just a fake ad for porn still. That's the way those things work.
I'm sorry I brought this up.
Then some Star Wars
I'm
stuff
not.
pops up out of nowhere.
I'm uncomfortable.
Don't you realize we're a Christian show, Tyler? But to get back to the Star Wars thing, Darth Vader, which all I was saying was that this kind of blurs the lines between pop culture and nerd culture. but it speaks to the power and efficacy of Star Wars.
Man, you gotta
Because,
quit using these words. I don't know what most of them mean.
That's what 60-year-old people do, man.
Yeah, efficacy, pervasion. Those words are as big as
What
your
was
watch.
the one? Collusion. I was able to use collusion the other day.
You say this stuff, but we're like, we give the white guy smile, like, Sydney's going off again.
And
Cameron made up a word a second ago.
Yeah,
but-
what's
True.
Oracle.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was great.
Connoisseurical.
Yeah, there you go. It's a good one.
Until you correct me, like on poignant.
See, I'm
Poignant.
like shit. I'm like a modern day Shakespeare. I'm coming up with words, you know.
Oh, can
Just
you do that
farted.
still? George Bush did that. Was he the last person who did that?
George Bush is also a modern day
Donald Trump is
Shakespeare.
definitely making up.
I was gonna say Bigley's not a word.
Yeah, true. That is a much more top.
Oh, what-
presidented.
I use easily quite a bit just because it's fun to
Where's
use.
that from?
Nothing. I don't want to say I made it up, but I caught myself saying easily one day, and I was like, I kind
How
of
would
like
you
this.
use that? Like in
I
turn.
can do this. I can do your job easily.
Okay.
It's
yeah.
you're
Yeah,
you're
and like
lengthening
nobody's
easy.
ever said
Easily.
anything.
Easily,
Yeah, like,
You're just putting a B in easily.
yeah.
Is it that B?
Yeah.
If I make
That-
up
you're
an
putting
expression-
that B specifically in easily.
Oh wait, is he by any chance? Hold on, is he
He has
Benedict-
this queued up and he still can't do it. All right,
Benedict
there.
By the way-
Easily?
Don't you mean Benedict Cumberbatch?
Oh, you got him good.
That's a wasp.
we have a comment from John Ripley via Facebook.
Oh, this will be good.
Says, "Oh, suck ya."
I like it. Oh man, but
Wait.
before we get around to
Bivens commented on mine. He said he posted a picture saying, "Someday I'll be old enough to drink beer." Wait, what is beer again? God, I've got to stop smoking catnip. I think that was directed towards Cameron.
Maybe Sydney, because earlier he was looking up
I looked
what
at- yeah,
craft beer
yeah.
Oh
is.
yeah.
who knows with Bivens? Any of us are in the crosshairs. But
He's so good.
I wanted to go off on a tangent. I'll save it. We got to get to this
Right.
Darth Vader
Yeah, Star
thing.
Wars.
So
we haven't even started. No, we got LaGuardia or whatever the beer is.
Lagunitas.
Yep.
Yeah. Still try to bring an airline into it.
We're bringing in all the airlines. We're gonna have a rumble.
That is like a cage match I would like
For
to
real,
see.
yeah.
5 flight attendants start on one plane, and the last one off
Only
gets
one.
to keep that plane.
Only 5 flight.
They can't fly because they're not the
enter.
pilots, but they get to own it.
Is flight attendant the politically correct term now? As
I
opposed
called-
to stewardess.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. I
definitely.
think so.
I was
too.
about to make a joke, and I can't say that word on air. Let's move
Uh-oh.
on.
Yeah, let's talk about Star Wars. What is
Finally.
this thing? Yeah.
Darth Vader. So
So-
this happened in Connecticut, I believe it
I
was.
think I'll double check because I had it pulled up. It was a
Ashwaubenon.
Wisconsin. It was Wisconsin.
Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. Which
Uh,
who knows how
That's
that's
another
pronounced.
word, Sydney. She's making it up.
So basically, what happened was yesterday, some kid. It was in high school, by the way. Some kid wore a Darth Vader costume in celebration of May the 4th, May the Star Wars Day.
That we
And-
haven't referenced at all yet on the show.
Yeah, and
Is this another
some
ad?
parents got concerned or one parent saw it and thought he was wearing like body armor and he was gonna like shoot up the place and called the police.
Yeah, which I can't blame him. I mean, as Cameron pointed out, that would be, for lack of a better word, that would be a very fitting thing to do if you wanted to shoot up a school, was come dressed as Darth Vader.
Which word were you thinking about subbing out?
I think I was just having a brain fart.
Okay.
I think I'm just too dumb right now.
You said,
But-
for lack of a better word, that would be a very
Oh,
fitting thing. And I was
yeah,
like, Sydney, that's just a word.
I was
man.
gonna say smart.
You
Yeah,
know,
smart
this-
was what I was gonna
Oh,
say.
okay.
And I
town
don't
in
want to
this-
say that anyone shooting up a school is smart at all.
Well, I was going to
City in
say a
this
very
story.
cool thing. You know, like it would just look cool. to be-
Yeah, smart and cool are not adjectives I want to lend to
I'm
a
just-
school shooting.
I'm not saying that shooting up a school is cool. I'm just saying
the kid
that,
who did it dressed as Darth Vader would
that
be
if
cool.
you were to do it, it would be cooler looking visibly.
Jake, how happy
you
are you
were
to be on
dressed
this
as
show for the
Darth
first time?
He started drawing his own
Dude,
bee.
yeah. the bee's drawing. Bee drawing?
That's what we need to start
Yeah.
covering the pushpin walls down there with
Everybody
just our own.
everyone
Flip your
does
paper, draw your own bee.
Yeah. By the way, what sounds like a made-up word is the name of the town where this happened, Ashwaubenon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that was
I
Tyler.
pulled it off actually earlier, Sydney.
Yeah, I think it's Ashwaubenon.
Ashwaubenon.
I could see it being one of
It
those
sounds
that's like
more appropriate.
Ashwaubenon.
Ashwaubenon.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ashwaubenon.
But man, I love this. That they freaking like canceled school and everything. I guess because they got on lockdown for this freaking Darth Vader costume. Is there really a parent who doesn't know what that is?
I don't know, but like I mean, I know it was May 4th and everything like that. But I think some red flags would go off in my head if I saw that too.
Well, if you had no idea what May the 4th was supposed to be Star Wars Day, and you saw a kid walking up in a Darth Vader,
I suppose.
Yeah.
How old was he?
Well, high school, so it's got to be between 14 and 18.
Okay, now
it doesn't
imagine
have to be.
Yeah, he could be a genius or a dumbass.
Yeah, one way or the other.
imagine Jimmy in a Darth Vader costume. Okay, now imagine me in one. You see a 6'4" Darth Vader coming down. You're like, oh, something could be up.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
You might think it's actually James Earl Jones.
Jimmy, I believe you're good to go in a Darth Vader costume wherever, according to Tyler.
Yeah, apparently.
You're set to go, man.
Although I
Being
guess
built like a 12-year-old girl comes with its benefits.
Oh,
Yeah.
this girl's having a hard time.
Mm.
She's just gonna dress up as Darth Vader. It's fine.
But like I said, I think some red flags would go off in my head. Even so. So I would say, if I was a close friend of that kid, I would have said maybe go with just the mask or just the cape. Probably the whole thing is a little bit of overkill.
Star Wars fans go all out. What do you think? Well, yeah,
That
you
is
can't,
very
you can't
true.
just wear the helmet. That,
Yeah,
is very
that kid
true.
has problems. The one that's just wearing the helmet or the cape.
Also,
Jake, you were at a Star Wars event last night. Was anyone? You said people were wearing T-shirts, but was anyone in full-on costume?
There was a full-on stormtrooper for sure.
Yeah.
ooh,
Everyone's getting a picture with him.
Wait, is
that's a nice costume. Darth Vader's kind of, you can pull that off pretty cheap.
that the stormtrooper guy in Wilmington? Because there's just a
It is
guy.
not that guy.
Okay,
I
all right.
sold that guy
Wait.
his stormtrooper costume.
Oh, did you? I worked a I worked a free comic book day for the rival comic book store back in the day.
Uh-oh.
This was years ago before I even met you guys.
You did what?
I worked a free comic book store day as Batman back in the day, and they had the stormtrooper guy there, like the local stormtrooper, the Wilmington stormtrooper, and he came up and he thought he was the coolest guy.
Oh God.
He's like, look at this, man. I just dance with people. Girls want to come up and have their pictures waved with me. It's so cool. And he had like his girlfriend with him. She's like, I'm with him because he's famous.
oh
my
no.
gosh.
She's
I've
dressed
never
like
heard
Leia,
of this
maybe?
guy.
I don't think she was dressed as Leia at
He
the
does it on
time.
occasion.
Huh.
So that guy bought the costume from me, and he was like, "Thank you, man. This changed my life." And then the
It's
next
like
thing I
giving him
know,
his college
he's-
diploma.
The next thing I know, he's at my competition store wearing it for free, like walking around.
Ah.
What is this?
Wow.
Damn. So does he do it only for
should've-
hire, or does he do it purely?
Oh, he's a hired gun, man.
You should
Boba
have had him
Fett.
sign a contract when you sold him the suit. Like, you can only wear this in promotional purposes with my store.
Yeah.
He was trying to offer to do some stuff, but he was kind of creepy to people.
I'll co-sign. I'll co-sign.
So-
I was Batman. He was creeping me out.
I don't know. Just didn't work out.
Did you have the beard when you were Batman?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a long time
So
ago, man. It's
this
like
this
4
may
years
be an
ago.
obvious answer, but who would win in a fight between a stormtrooper and Batman?
Oh my God, Batman.
Okay. Yeah.
They can't
yeah.
shoot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman can actually hit a target.
I'd be
yeah.
more like, who'd win in a fight between Stormtrooper, and I'm trying to think of a Batman villain so incompetent that they'd lose. Condiment King, maybe. Crazy Quilt, maybe. Maybe Orca, but I don't know. Oh, or Killer Moth. Killer Moth's pretty pathetic.
This is
Well,
what Tanner
He
does
can
when he's
fly,
by
at
himself.
least.
I was about to say you just listed off a whole bunch of things in a room full of comic book fans, and no one bit.
They did you guys see Lego Batman?
Still haven't seen it. It was
Nope.
great.
Oh, really? Yeah, they
I'm
had
laying down.
they had a great scene where they did a montage of all the like normal villains and then like went to all the crazier villains. And someone says, "Are you making some of those up?" He goes, "No, they're all real. Google it." So
Well, when you've had what is it? So
75 years. at
yeah,
least,
75 years. This is 2019 will be the 80th anniversary.
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's why, because I don't know if you heard, but they're planning to do 4 Batman universe movies in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently for the 80th anniversary. But we talked about that before. So Darth Vader, I guess we didn't really get much out of that, but
Well, no, I just found it interesting.
Yeah,
They had
so-
to shut this school down.
be wary when you go into school in costume. I would be interested though to see how all out he went. If it was just a cheap little costume, or if he went, because I imagine this guy who goes around in costume as a stormtrooper, it's got to be legitimate, actual separate plates and everything. Not just
He
like
rocks
a-
the bulge
It's
pretty
high,
hard.
It's pretty high
not just like
quality.
a cloth $20 Halloween
No,
costume.
It's that 501st Legion thing. I think it's a costume of their quality.
Okay, yeah.
So like,
Gee,
yeah,
how much did that cost then?
I'm going to guess. Let me guess.
Wait, what are we looking up? I can have
200.
the number.
Go
$200.
for it. It's the stormtrooper.
Oh, it's further up?
Dude, if you want like one of those,
Oh, Jake
if you
has
want a
it.
super legit one, I think 800's almost a minimum.
Jesus. Do you? I'm
Holy
sure you know
cow.
about this, and I feel like probably most of you, maybe most of you would, but
Are you gonna get this out?
no, I'm not going to. I'm done.
Well, I do feel that way.
There's about like the like legit quality lightsabers or whatever. They're like there's like a website that sells them for like $150. And
But they're
like,
not actually swords made of
yeah
plasma energy.
There's a kid in my class that has one, and he's like obsessed with Star Wars. Like he's in a creative writing class, and all he does is write Star Wars fan fiction.
Oh my god!
And
Come on.
How's he
man.
doing?
Can
in
we get
class?
him on?
be over my head. I'm talking about something serious here.
Because that's the one thing the world needs is more
Yeah.
Star Wars fan fiction.
I'm kind of on Jimmy's train here. I kind of want to get this guy.
We need to
on.
get this kid on.
But he was
Yeah.
telling
He's
us
got more to say about this than I do.
he was telling us about the quality of this, and I also don't take everything this kid says seriously. It's like a lot of it I feel like is BS. But he was telling us about the quality of these lightsabers, and he said that he was able, like they're hard enough. The thing that comes out, they're hard enough to
Nice.
break bricks with. Like he said that he smashed a brick with his lightsaber.
what?
Are you
He
in
said-
4th grade?
Look, I
This is
just
great.
said I took it as BS, but like I mean,
Yeah, but who would win,
$150
your
for
dad or his dad? Like, that's
and the
His
question.
dad's a stormtrooper. Cameron's dad is Darth Vader.
The question isn't whether my dad would be to miss my brother that he's got to be worried about.
I love how you quote your own characters.
But my
at
older
times.
brother, without a doubt, could snap that lightsaber in half.
is this it right here?
I think this is
Yeah.
the website.
Oh wait, hold
This
on.
this
Keep
one's
it
for
on screen.
$170, but they also have a $270 version. Let me pull that one up, or $240 version rather.
I mean, I feel like
And they have like the different generations, I guess, of lightsabers. So you can get classic Obi-Wan.
That's
you
a
can get
vape pen, dog.
But will it smash a brick?
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what I want to
yeah,
know.
That's all
Yeah,
we
let's
wanna
see if
know.
it's it says right here, will smash bricks.
Does
No,
it
but-
really?
No. But I'm surprised they haven't dual packaged that though, a vape that you can just suck out the other end while your
You get them
lightsaber's going.
confused. You try to vape on your Star Wars lightsaber, and it just shoots through.
Yeah, you
kills
get you get a brick quality lightsaber straight through your jaw.
You always gotta wonder if, like, in a high intensity moment, like when you're pulling out a lightsaber and you're a Jedi, if you accidentally pull it out like the wrong way and you hit the button and you just stab yourself.
You pull
in the
out too
stomach.
soon, and it shoots your leg off.
Exactly.
I could definitely get this kid on the show if you want.
I kind of.
We might explore
We
that.
may
yeah.
need a screening interview.
yeah, for real.
I predict we're going to need an extra pop filter for the microphone because I imagine he spits a lot when he talks. So probably more than me. Gets a little excited.
Why
probably
are you
sweating.
making fun of my speech impediment?
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't
yeah, there we
talk
go.
like that.
But
He-
Tanner, to answer your question, that's why only Jedis can have lightsabers, because Jedi don't make mistakes like that.
Finn in Episode 7 got to use a lightsaber for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but he
He's no
wasn't
Jedi.
supposed to. He was bending
'Cause
the
he's
rules.
black.
There's also Imperial Knights that are Jedis that carry around lightsabers.
Whoa, we're getting a little
geez.
serious up in
Oh,
here.
sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
That
Wow,
sounds like a
dude.
lightsaber
Do you write
fight.
fan fiction? How do you know this?
Is this kid you? in
No,
the
Jake.
sky?
Let's be honest. Have you ever written fan fiction of any type?
No.
No.
I went to
Oh,
school for
really?
writing. I never-
Erotic or otherwise.
When I went to writing school, they were like I was like, I like this kind of stuff. They're like, yeah, you don't do that here.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah. They
the
didn't
end
take
of
it
that.
seriously.
The end
Yeah.
of that.
If I need to like do sort of a warm up on like a script, I might write a fan fiction adaptation, like a script. I think the last one I did, I wrote like 10 pages for a One Punch Man movie.
Can I read that? That's what you need to give me.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we
Oh
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jake. We were suggesting that we do a segment, Jimmy versus comic books, where we get the most like continuity-driven single issue we can find, and Jimmy, who has zero comic book experience, has to tell us what happened during the course of the issue.
Yeah, I mean, let's do this thing.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
I'll bring some weird stuff in.
Yeah. We'll leave that up to you and Ben. Maybe you can collaborate with Tyler and Tanner to figure out what would be the best one for Jimmy to
You
read.
collaborate with the TTs.
T squared.
Guys.
All right, guys. Well, it's time for our second break already. When we get back, we'll send it over to Jake. Let him tell us a little bit about Free Comic Book Day and everything Memory Lane has going on. It's also worth noting that Memory Lane is in their brand new badass downtown space. It's at 201 Princess.
Owen Princess, corner of 2nd and Princess Street.
And I know you guys are constantly improving it and everything, but when I went in there about a week ago, it was incredible, man. I was
Appreciate it.
disappointed Wolverine isn't up already.
He's like, so we have a bank vault, and he's like deflated, hanging over the bank vault
You have
door.
a bank vault?
I'll show. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
here's
God,
a- used to be a
no.
bank.
This is.
It's
I still
crazy.
have to see
They
it.
can't
It's
close the
awesome.
door.
Yeah.
What I learned.
Yeah, okay.
Jimmy was here.
Okay.
I paid attention.
Oh, okay. I guess
got
Ben
to
told
step
us that.
inside of
Oh,
it. It
yikes.
was so
Uh-oh.
cool.
Wow, man.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah.
His eyes are glazed over while I'm talking to him right now.
Yeah, I was about to say I never actually listen to anyone on the show. I'm just waiting to figure out what I'm going to say next.
That makes our argument so much better. That you've just been on autopilot when those happen.
Yeah. But I do appreciate that you guys have that badass Batman looking. He's keeping
Yeah.
watch over the
I
store.
was so worried you'd get rid of him. I'm so happy to see that you did
No,
not.
he's here to stay for sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll be back here in about 10 minutes. Stay tuned in the meantime. Oh, and also, we're going to have our phone number up if anyone wants to call in and weigh in on any of these hard-hitting issues we've been talking about today. Back from our second break. It is May 5th. This is Prime Nation Live. So, you ready, Jake? I didn't really give you any preface here, but we're going to send it over to you.
I'm
And
ready, man.
let's hear what all Memory Lane's has going on for Free Comic Book Day.
Free Comic Day. We're starting off at 8:30 with free Wake and Bake donuts.
Ooh.
And so usually we have a line around the building around that point, and so we'll be able to give away donuts to everybody.
And
9 we'll start.
Just I forgot to say this too. Free Comic Book Day is tomorrow.
Yes.
May 6th.
And
Yeah,
you get free
very
comics when you go to
Oh,
a comic
wow.
book store.
It's a fact, man. people can't quite grasp the concept. They're like, so like, it's like you can take as many as you want, or they're looking at the comics on
Yeah.
the wall that cost like $3 and $4 a piece.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's special comics that come out like just for the event. It's really cool. They're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. They
like,
expected to
that's the
come
rare
in
person or
and
whatever.
just like you remember when Nickelodeon would give away like shopping sprees and they'd have the commercials where the kids would just
Exactly.
throw in stuff in.
That's the image in everyone's mind.
So if I'm not lined up at 5 a.m., the good stuff's already gone, right?
Not whatsoever. We got
Really?
Good, I mean,
Okay.
we have enough good stuff to do like an all day thing. If you want to get like some of the, we have a couple of crazy like kind of doorbuster things.
I got you.
And that's probably for the first 100 or so people that
Okay.
we'll have supplies for that kind of stuff. But after that, I mean, it's just we'll have free comics all day
Oh,
long.
me a
And
donut.
some really cool raffles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The timing on this is amazing that you guys are in the new space just in time for this.
Yeah,
That's-
man.
Yeah.
That was definitely on purpose, and
Yeah.
I rushed a few things probably in order to make that happen. But I think it's going to work out well. The stupid
Mhm.
Wells Fargo golf tournament
Oh,
is here at the same time, so our parking. I
Dude,
have no idea how that's going to work out.
Not only that, this weekend is crazy because we got Cinco de Mayo right now,
The One Tree Hill
UNCW
Convention.
One Tree Hill Convention, UNCW graduation, the golf tournament, and I always forget. There's one other thing going on. I always forget it. We were talking about this yesterday too. But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous
Comic
in
Book Day.
Wilmington right now. Yeah, Free Comic Book Day. That's it.
It's gonna be nuts, man. I mean, it's if wherever you're at, there's 2 shops in our town. There's multiple places all over the place to go and check out. But it's a cool event. Ours personally, we're actually gonna line people through like the back of our building, and we're gonna have where our eBay office is.
You're going to put them in the vault? You're going to shut some people in
They'll
the
be able
vault?
to see the vault,
And then
They
you'll
won't be
open it up
hanging out in the
next
vault.
comic book day, right?
Exactly. That's what happened. It's a time capsule, and they can tell us about their year if they survived or they hate each other.
It's like the
whatever
hyperbolic
happens.
time chamber in Dragon Ball Z. A year will have passed, but to them it just feels like one day.
They're all gonna be
It's
super
reverse.
strong when they come out. It's gonna be
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
All you gotta do there is eat and work out. You know, that's what you gotta do.
It's like old
You
boy.
just like there's like a little like dog water bowl with some crackers and a single dumbbell.
Yeah.
I'm
just-
sorry, you're lining them through the eBay store?
I just
Sorry.
I just picture them like they've got nothing but these old comics, and they come out a year later, and they're the most expert X-Men fans in the world. They know every X-Men issue cover to cover.
But by then they've relaunched twice already.
Yeah.
so-
This is how we're gonna make Jimmy and X Brothers think. This is the show
Yes.
a year from today.
I like this reality series we've started. This might work out good for me. I need to get in shape. Work out. All I need is one dumbbell.
All right, here's a monkey wrench. They all come out dressed as stormtroopers. What if is that possible?
Is it a
What?
cloning vault? Actually,
Sure.
There we go.
That'd be much more useful for money. I'd rather just put money in there in that case.
Can't play God, Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I gotta know my
like this
place.
tangent. This is pretty solid.
That's our show.
This is what happens.
This-
Yeah, yeah. We should have given you
Free
forewarning.
Comic Book Day.
I-
Also, wouldn't it be great if we had a vault where you put something in and it duplicated? Those are the same.
Or just a murder vault. Either one.
That's
Dude,
redundant.
All the above. But
So yeah, lining them through the back.
yeah. So we're gonna have we have two doors. So we're gonna take people through the side entrance on 2nd Street, and we'll have kind of like a free comic day station there. You come in, you can get pick up whatever free comics you want, and then you go through the store and do the raffles and all that kind of stuff.
Nice. So what percentage of your business do you think you guys do through eBay?
So, it's probably like 20.
Wow. Okay.
But it's it's a great outlet for so in some ways it gets rid of stuff that there's no way that anyone in this town would pay $150 for this action figure, and like I don't know why anyone would, but we put it on eBay and someone buys it immediately, and so that works out really well.
Really
smart.
Sorry, I don't know. I'm
Cameron's just now discovering eBay.
no, just
This
like
is a nifty idea.
I didn't know that you did that until just now. Like
That's
that,
part of our move. The big,
It's part of what I was thinking. Like being downtown, it's hard to run a business downtown because I'm sure it's expensive to live downtown. It's like, or not live, but like
The store lives down there.
hold a business downtown.
Batman lives
right?
down there.
I mean, and so like I don't know that's a very smart. I don't know why I'm telling you that. You know it's smart. That's why you're doing it. But I'm just,
Very smart,
pat
man.
yourself on the back. Yeah.
we that was part of the move. Was I wanted to find the right place that could have our eBay office, enough storage to hold. I mean, we have not as much stuff as in the store, obviously, but it's a decent portion. There's like 6,000 things on our eBay store. There are a bunch of things waiting to be listed. So we have storage upstairs that holds all that kind of houses that stuff. We have an office downstairs. The bank vault has become our storage for the actual store, and the new place just the functionality of that is like I can't even describe how that changes our business.
That's all. How many like locations did you guys look at before you decided on that one?
I mean, I'm just everything in Wilmington. I mean, I was looking. I wanted to be here. I wanted to be here. I had different ideas of what we wanted, and I couldn't find a real estate agent to help me find the right. Like everyone just kept kind of like trying to push us towards something. And I was like, that just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be next to pure gold. Like this.
Oh God,
You would have gotten a more frequent customer than me. I'm there anyway.
that was actually a suggestion from a real estate agent.
Opportunity. Dude, there was this place over there, and he
Is
just
the
kept
bowling
these,
alley leaving? Is that?
No, yeah, right. They were massive.
Yeah, oh my have every
God.
lane with a
Yeah.
different character at the end of it.
This is actually kind of a cool idea. Maybe I should rethink this.
Bowling and comics.
Yeah.
Memory
he was like-
lane.
Oh.
He was like, the college kids are always there. They're always there. And I was like, I went to UCW. I was never there.
Yeah.
It was just-
Well, also the demographic between people who are willing to spend their money at a strip club, not necessarily the same people who are willing to spend their money at a comic book
Talk
shop.
to Gerard. Talk to Gerard about
You know,
that.
Talk to me.
There in elementary school, we had to do a PTA musical show that our band, like our music teacher at the elementary school, put on, and one of the musical numbers we had to do one year was Bowling Down Memory Lane. It was like a whole song, like we go bowling, da 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 da, down a memory lane.
I think we need to recreate this for a YouTube video.
Yeah.
This has to happen.
Cast the stormtrooper.
Well, you've already moved in to the downtown. If you did the bowling
bowling
alley,
Second
yeah.
location.
yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point in that you guys do all kinds of YouTube skits and sketches and stuff like that. Like, do you have like a regimented schedule you try to do?
We've gone through periods where we definitely did, and then Free Comic Days coming up when we move, and like we haven't done a video for a month and a half. It's just-
I did see the cool drone video. That was really neat.
Yeah. One
Oh
of our
yeah, that
customers
drone one was awesome.
had just a fantastic drone and was able to pull it off for us, and it was like the windiest day downtown ever. It's just. I mean, he had this like terrified look on his face while he was flying the thing.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
It worked out well enough, and
What did he just go from the outside of the store up? Okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice. I haven't seen it.
It just shows kind of the building and then scans around real quick for
Awesome.
downtown.
Yeah. Very nice.
Very nice video.
But it was busy. There's cars everywhere, and it just happened to be a busy time that we were trying to do this. But we had like an hour that we could squeeze us in to make this video happen to announce the deal. And
yeah, downtown and the beach are stressful. It's just nonstop
Yeah.
adrenaline when you have that thing in the air.
I can imagine. Yeah, he does a lot of stuff, like Carolina Beach, or real estate. Like,
Yeah.
so if somebody's selling a house, he'll kind of circle the place. And
Sydney knows a thing or two about that, don't you?
I do indeed. Yeah, I have a drone business myself.
nice.
Haven't really focused on it in a while since we've been doing stuff here, but every now and then I'll get offers. I don't, like I said, I don't focus on it, but whenever someone reaches out, I'll do it. But yeah, downtown and the beach are probably the two most precarious spots because downtown, not only do you have it's very windy being right there on the river, and then you also have tall buildings and stuff like that. But it's impossible not to draw a crowd downtown. So people see what you're doing, and they come and they want to crowd your screen, and then they're trying to like ask if they can fly it themselves and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
How much would you? How much money would it take for someone to fly your drone?
Oh, $50.
$50. Okay, you're like, there's a chance you won't crash it. You get a little thrill of it. Okay.
No, yeah.
Insurance.
No, yeah. Truthfully, it would depend on the circumstance. Downtown, someone would have to give me like $200, and I would have
Okay.
to like pretty much have my hand on the controls.
You would have to do the like putt. I'll show you how to putt
Yeah.
thing wrapped around them, ghost-esque.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be trying to sort of ease
You're-
my way up
you're
into
molding the pot with
the
them.
vase, yeah. But yeah, like if I'm like out in an open field and stuff
Mm.
like that, I've let people fly it before, little kids and stuff.
Makes
Even
sense.
although I do have this scar on my arm.
A drone scar. This
I
is
tried.
great.
I tried to let my niece and nephew fly it. They tipped it over, so I didn't think to shut it off before I tried to pick it up. So I picked it up, and the blades would go full speed and just slash my arm right there. And it wasn't that bad of a cut, but I guess it's gonna be like a lifelong scar. It happened back in November.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's Sydney's
Yeah.
drone stories.
I might have enjoyed. I enjoyed that more than I should have. I don't know.
Wanna
I just
know how I
imagine
got
it's
these
like a weed
scars?
whacker. You're trying to.
It was so annoying because I'd pick it up and it's and then I tried it again until
You did it more than once.
I did it like 3 times before I was like, I gotta shut this thing down. It's just
Good times.
like I said, it's the adrenaline going because I was like, Jesus, I might have ruined this $1,800 thing, which thankfully I didn't. But then you're like, you have little kids who are screaming because I have blood being flung by propellers out of my arm.
You're continually trying to pick it up.
Yeah.
You've tried it 3 times.
Yeah, it's just not.
Did
a good
anybody
scenario
get cut
at all.
open during your drone shoot, or
Not a single one. If you want the guy's name,
yeah. I'll
You need a
contract
referral?
him out.
he
yeah.
had the stormtrooper suit on? It was impervious to the blades.
that's one thing that the stormtrooper suit would actually be impervious to.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Well, and now they're doing it to where they give you like headsets when you buy drones,
Oh,
so you
yeah,
have like
yeah.
first-person view of the camera.
ESPN2 had drone racing on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Did
It's,
that get cut when they cut all those people?
yeah, really. Yeah. Well, there was one.
It was
that-
an Arkansas death penalty. That's how they got rid of all of them. They said a drone race. let
still
it fly.
still more humane than
Yep.
the injections they're giving. But there was, I think it was like 2 years ago at the Winter Games, some like downhill slalom skier, a drone crashed out of the sky and it landed like literally 6 inches away from him, and it would have killed him. It was like one of those
Big drone.
multi-$1,000 drones, yeah, with a giant camera rig on it. It easily would have killed him, and the video is like you're surprised that he misses it.
How many comic books are there about drones?
Oh.
I think we're looking at a solid 0.
Oh.
Well,
Do I hear opportunity?
Yeah.
All right.
You know who
Drone
seems like
man.
they really take advantage of that? This young buck in this picture here. On the
There are
left.
2 young bucks in that picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man, when was that picture taken?
2011.
Yeah,
That's probably also accurate.
That's pre-craft beer right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, it brings up a good point because Ben, does he still brew at all?
Not in a little while. Man, we've been so busy with just
Free comic book day is coming up.
Yeah.
I've been for since 2011. So it's really important that this hits because I put all my eggs are in this freaking bag. So-
That was the last shot where you had like some free time. You had enough time to take that picture, and then after
Ben
that,
hasn't had a haircut since that. day.
Yeah, really.
When did Free Comic Book Day start? Has it been around since you guys have been in the game? So to speak?
2011.
I think it's literally 2001. So you're
Oh, okay.
right around there, 2001. Some little
Gotcha.
shop started it up, and then I don't know how, but they've started to get some of the major publishers on board. So the idea is we spend like between 18 and 40 cents a comic, and buy thousands of comics to give away. So it's not free for us. It's, I mean, it costs a decent amount, but it's such a great promotion to get people to, how else can you just come out and be like, I'm going to give Exo Man War a try. You have no idea what that is.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
cool.
no,
And it
I've turned
works.
people onto stuff like
So
that.
it's, it's a phenomenal day. I mean, our sales always make up for every 25-cent comic you pick,
Yeah.
the thousands of those that we pick up. So it's a really cool day.
And that's the encouraging thing about, like, for instance, when IHOP does like Free Pancake Day and stuff like that, the donations always outweigh the cost of it. It's that's
It's
encouraging.
nuts.
It gives you some faith in humanity.
There is a free ice cream day from Dairy Queen, and I went to
3 different locations.
I went to 2 different locations. I went to one twice, and you're supposed to donate the money that you didn't spend. But I just got a whole bunch of free ice cream.
I don't.
So if I can
unfortunately-
knock down your faith in humanity a little bit,
Well, speaking of free ice cream, we do have free Boombalottis.
That wasn't even on
tomorrow
purpose.
At 1.
Ooh,
So segue.
nice, and that's perfect too because you're partnering with these
What's
other
a
local
Boombalottie?
businesses.
Oh man,
You've never been to Boombalotties?
Never had a Boombalottie.
it's a big
Man.
gal.
Sorry, that
I
makes
just
things
also
less
find
clear.
it
What? Can someone tell me
interesting,
what a
like-
boombalati?
So it's it's a local ice cream shop by kind of landfall center,
Okay.
like Las Olas and across from Mayfair.
It's just ice cream.
It's an
Make good
Pretentious
ice cream.
ice cream.
But they
Craft ice cream.
but they do a
Start
bunch of
into
collaborations like with local breweries and local businesses and stuff like that.
They have a brick and mortar coffee float that's supposed to be like life changing.
I thought you were about to
Nice.
say Rick and Morty.
Yeah. So wait,
They have a Brick and Morty
you got
store.
free donuts and free helado. Free, sorry, ice cream. Sorry, I don't know why I said
Is that
helado.
Spanish for
Yeah,
ice
it's
cream?
Spanish
Yeah.
for ice cream.
Helado,
That's one of the
yeah.
few
That's
Spanish
impressive.
words I know.
Yeah, really. That shows how little culture I have as well.
How and how cultured I am.
The shirt
Mr.
says
Robert
it all,
Frost
man.
Jr.
People,
You
walk
know
around,
something
people know how culture.
Oh, you think this outfit just screams culture? Just wait till you see the rest of them.
Hey Jake, I'm kind of curious. Do you know when it was like Marvel and DC really started embracing Free Comic Book Day? Because I think with this one, don't they have one for Marvel has one for Secret Empire, their big event? that
they
they're-
do, yeah. I mean,
that they're
it's-
expecting you to read. I think.
for them, I mean, it's like they couldn't get a better promotion because they're I don't know what it costs them to put the comics out, but I do think that they take a little bit of a hit in order to get them to us at that price. But I mean, it was pretty early. I think they did an Ultimate Spider-Man Free Comic Day book, right around the time that came out. So it's been around for a while, which was 2001, not 2011, unfortunately.
We're just talking to the mic a little more.
Yep.
We
So-
need this on record.
So do
It
they?
didn't take too long.
So it started off though with like the smaller companies offering dedicated Free Comic Book Day comics.
I think it was. I mean, it kind of like right out of the gate, like started up pretty big. But I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on the history of it.
Yeah. Are any of the Comic Book Day comics, are they like Comic Book Day centric, or do they just like one-off stories?
I mean, some of them will do like a reprint, and then they're telling you about a book coming up, so they're trying to get catch you up on something. Some of them are a brand new storyline that they want you to try to follow if you're going to get into it. Some of them will be the first chapter of, if you made a comic and you're publishing it from, let's say IDW pretty soon, you got involved in this to release basically the first 20 pages of your graphic novel coming out.
So it's like entry-level comics or the Free Comic
Often,
Book Day.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do you guys have any first-run issues of that one X-Men comic that has all the anti-Semitic and
Yeah.
anti-Christian
Oh,
rhetoric
yeah.
in it?
X-Men Gold.
I do
or
have a
something?
couple, yeah.
You
Really?
you have some in backlog, don't you? That you're gonna hold for a little bit. Is that what you're doing?
So
or?
I had to buy some of those this week because so when I didn't know that was like I read the comic, I really enjoyed it. I made a video about enjoying it.
You're
and
telling me
then I
you
got,
didn't pick up on those very subtle?
the number there.
Yeah.
So I read it, I really enjoyed it. I made a video about how much I liked it, and then all these people our Facebook inbox was like, "Hey, sign me up for that. 'Cause we do subscription services. Sign me up for this. Throw one in my
nice.
box." And then, so I made all these promises to people that I was going to have this comic, and then I went ahead and I reordered 45 copies, which would have covered everybody, and then had 25 to go out on the shelf. And next thing you know, that controversy comes out, and Marvel pulls it from our distributor. If I had ordered the comic like an hour before I did, it
Oh,
would have
wow.
been shipped, and I would have gotten my copies with no problem.
So now you're going to get the altered version?
Yeah.
Well, I had to go on eBay, and I found a shop that had a bunch of them, and I called it a couple different people, and so I paid $8 a piece for a comic I'm going to sell to our subscribers for $5 a piece.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You guys
that's-
do go out of the way. Since I've been going there,
Yeah.
you guys go out of the way to
I feel like if you
make
tell
sure.
somebody you're going to do something like that, you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta do it. So it's and then I know I'm losing money on this one, but if I really do think it's that good, they'll sign up for the series. So if they read it for 30 issues,
You've made your money
Yeah,
back.
we did
Yeah.
fine.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
This is something that I'd asked Ben about. I went up to Chapel Hill recently, and there was a comic book store up there that was shutting down. What do you guys feel like you do that has kept you afloat for so long? Because you'll hear like maybe some comic book stores closing down in different places around the country.
Mhm.
How are you guys fighting that?
But and not even afloat. Like you, I mean, obviously, I
you
don't
guys
know.
are thriving.
Yeah, exactly. People love your store.
Well, that's it, man. To us, it's about making personal connections, getting to know people, getting their names,
Coming on radio shows.
coming to radio shows. like when I can't describe to you how much work I have to do today, but I'm here to talk to you guys about
Yeah,
things.
free comic book day is coming up. You've been swamped, I heard.
Yeah, it's
You've been
it's
training
been
for this
planned
since 2011.
6 years, man. It's been
I mean,
tough.
are we distracting you? Do you need to go?
No,
Do you-
I'm stoked to be here. It's but I would rather work later and put time into telling people about the event or whatever, and trying to get people to come out and check it out.
Mhm.
So it's, to me, it's about getting to know people. It's about we start like we didn't have a lot of money to start up. We had $5,000 which is no business person ever would tell you to start a business with $5,000, because that's literally 1 month's worth of my ordering back then worth of comic books. So like I had to make sales, and then
and that's talking about to cover you guys' salary and everything like that as well. That's
I didn't get paid for a couple of years when I owned the
Yeah,
store.
exactly,
So it was,
yeah.
it was just like I would just compensate enough to like eat,
Yeah.
and and pay a couple of bills here and there and everything. And so it was
A couple bills, no pun intended.
so yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel
Happy
like
to see it pay off.
Yeah, we're I think it helps that we're young and we're way into this, and we've got the energy with which to put that. I don't mind putting all this time into it. My wife, that's part of moving
Oh
downtown.
yeah,
too.
congratulations on the wedding, by the way.
Thank you,
Mhm.
thank you. We're very excited.
I like the
Right.
Facebook post, but I figured I'd get this out now too.
Oh, no, I remember the Facebook like.
You-
But
I wrote down every one of the 500 people that liked it.
Sent thank you cards.
I crossed you off my list. You're good now.
Oh, good.
But I mean, she works at the city building 2 blocks away. We live down Princeton Street, so we've kind of us moving the shop there lets me focus my life kind of in that area.
Nice.
So it's improving on a few different levels with that. So it's just trying to constantly make it better every day. Want to make it better.
Well, I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about the store. I've never heard anyone say anything that doesn't, lead me to believe they're anything but extremely happy for you guys' success.
Yeah, and as part of the comedy scene, we appreciate you guys having the show that you do.
Yeah,
It's
man.
fun, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So good.
So real quick. First off, I got a then and now, or a now and then. Just wanted to point that
Pre
out.
and post meth.
You see the yeah, exactly. That's what, owning a business gives you gray hair really quickly. That's what you
You're getting a very even streak.
Like you look like
I
a
feel
comic
lucky
book
that
character.
Yeah.
You look like a comic book character. It's very distinct. Like
I swear I'm not dyeing my hair like this.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
they are canon. Don't forget.
Oh yeah,
That's
he
true.
was, he
Yeah,
was
what-
telling us that in Punish. Ben was
Yeah,
telling
we-
us you guys are in an issue of the Punisher that what's his name drew. I wish I
What's,
remember.
Mitch just drew the cover, but
Mitch
our buddy wrote it. So he was able to.
That's so
Go
cool,
sit there and
man.
kill us
Yeah, yeah.
He's like constantly in communication with a lot of these companies, and like just on the verge of getting kind of a
Mhm.
bigger book at some point.
Uh-huh.
And so the plan is like whenever he does something, he'll kill us off every once in a while. So that'll be our like.
Was it?
I
Was
want
it
to
Nathan
die in
Edmondson?
every comic book universe. That exists.
You're like the Lieutenant Dan of these comic book. One person in my family had died in
Exactly.
each great American war.
The other thing I wanted to ask to ask you, Jake, is how do you feel about the controversy over Marvel's Secret Empire?
I like Captain America like I like
Your
almost
women?
my dad. Like I love that character.
So you
much.
hate him.
It was just weird. But it's at the same time like I love you hate your dad. That's what for poetry class, man. I had to get out of poetry class real quick because I would write like a poem and it would be like about like the dumbest crap ever. I was just like, I just gotta get something out real quick. And
Yeah.
and then someone would be like, I really sense how he just doesn't like his dad and he just hates his.
I can tell the
childhood.
damage that your childhood did to you.
Seems very Robert Frost influenced.
I love my dad. He's cool. But I don't know. It's weird to have Captain America be the bad guy, but he's also like he's the freaking best bad
Yeah.
guy. You
Mhm.
like he's everyone just trusts him and gave him the keys to the kingdom, and he's so methodical that if anyone could take out everybody, it'd be him in a heartbeat.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I guess I'm just curious because I feel like these crazy comic book stories, that's like what the medium is built off of, or at least the genre of superhero comics is built
Oh,
off
yeah.
of, just crazy status quos.
Well, it used to be that would be a one single issue. Like you'd look at an old '60s comic, and it's like, is Superman bad now? What's he? Why
Yeah.
is he like threatening
By the end of
Lois
it,
Lane?
nope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're good.
But now, these stories stretch longer, so that one story is now a year's worth of comics or 8 months worth of comics, and so people are like, they're coming in like, I'm not buying any more Marvel comics until Captain America's good again. And I'm like,
That's not the point.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, they're gonna come back around
That's-
on this.
That's what
It's a
kills me
good
is people
story.
who act like this is permanent. This is just a fun story. Like that to
Exactly.
me is what all it is.
Did readership drop off during Superior Spider-Man?
It did at first,
Okay.
and then everyone was like, "Oh wait, it's
There's
getting really well reviewed. It's really
Okay.
really good." and then like all of a sudden, that was one where our numbers, like we had a ton at the beginning, and then it dropped off a little bit because people were like, I just don't like the idea of him being bad, and then you just started seeing it tick up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, that story was so good.
And it's very similar in this too, where I mean, and how long ago was it that they revealed that Captain America at least had ties to Hydra?
I think it was a year ago,
yeah,
wasn't it?
right
Yeah,
about
it was
there.
like a year
And
ago.
so now it's just really gotten to the point where he is like the sort of big bad as of right now.
Well, they did the Superior Spider-Man, they did Superior Iron Man. This is basically just Superior Captain America. It's just that people freaked out so much that, they kind of like kept it under wraps a little bit. I don't know.
This is Steve Rogers, not Bucky, right?
Right. This is
Okay,
full
all
on
right.
Steve Rogers.
He did die, right?
Which one?
Steve Rogers.
Yes.
Everybody's dead.
Everyone's
I know. I'm
died, yeah.
trying to keep
yeah,
up.
he
I
definitely
I'm more of a graphic novel guy. I'll get everything once
Sure.
it's like I know this is a good arc. So I'm
And-
trying to.
He
hang.
died, then he came back, then he got his powers zapped from him
Okay.
essentially.
Is that where he was like
turned
really
old.
like a skeleton or something?
Yeah, he was
okay.
frail, and then he got his powers back.
Okay.
When was the
And-
last time that Marvel did like a big reset?
They don't-
Marvel does more like soft resets.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
yeah.
constantly do little
relaunches, not
resets.
Reboots.
But wouldn't it be Secret Wars was basically the last one? What was that, 2 years ago?
It's yes and no because it continued so much. I mean, they were like it basically allowed them to like pick and choose what they wanted to. Same thing that DC's doing right now. They just made it. DC's doing Dr. Manhattan is the ultimate villain, and Marvel made it that Dr. Doom was these two people that could reshape reality.
Okay. Gotcha.
Is Thor still a woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Is
it's
that
great.
permanent?
More
I will
likely.
not buy another comic book.
So real quick, we're gonna take a break here in a minute, but whenever we come back, we're gonna let Jimmy do his guest segment, and then I want to hear a spoiler-free review of Guardians of the Galaxy, which you saw last night. But what do you think is going to happen after the Infinity War sequel? Do you think that they're going to try to do sort of what the comics did and recast a bunch of people?
If there's a woman as Thor, I will be.
I think you're gonna see legacy heroes.
Yeah.
That would be.
I think that's what they're going towards as well.
It makes sense, and you don't have to try to reset anything. You never, just have younger people take the mantle.
Exactly.
And you can let the other people age out.
And Tanner has always said that they sort of treat the deviations they do in the comics as like a warm up for how people will react if they do it in the movies.
Definitely.
And people have responded so well to the new Iron Man. Well, what do they call
Ironheart.
Ironheart? Yeah,
It's
yeah.
called Iron. The comic is still called Iron.
That's
Man.
really
Yeah.
weird. It's called Iron Man, but it's a girl,
Yeah.
and her name is Ironheart, which is fine. But why is it still called Iron Man? Whatever. Comic books.
But yeah, I mean, it seems to me like that'll make sense, and I know that everyone's contracts are starting to run out, and even though it's making them jagillions of dollars, Robert Downey Jr. eventually has got to hang up the.
He seems most likely to be a pain to work with at some point.
Yeah,
Like, he's going to be like
He's actually awesome.
Yeah, I have two. Yeah, from
a
people.
price point at least that I see. He's like, I'm
Oh.
not coming back for any less than
Yeah.
400 million.
agreed
They're
on
like,
that. Yeah.
For me and for everybody else.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Yeah, and that's all with like agents and stuff like that. I'm sure that Robert Downey Jr. by now has enough of a connection to it.
From what I understand, they didn't know the Marvel universe. I mean, of course they wanted it to be like the biggest franchise in the world, but they didn't know that. So when he signed up for Iron Man, he got an amazing contract that gets him so much money off of the residuals. So that's why I'm confused why he'd still want more. I'm not sure you need any more after all the money he gets off of just that original contract.
For most of those guys, it's about like not having to work out every day for the rest of your life.
Yeah, really.
Like you do need to be compensated for like having to eat 15 chicken breasts at lunch
Yeah.
to try to bulk up to be Thor.
and he
it's
doesn't
like,
even seem like the most bulky of them.
Yeah.
He's just in the suit.
Yeah. And I mean, he stays in good shape though. But then, like, it's
Always handsome.
even no matter how much money you have, like, you have to just know that your time is being valued. So I
Yeah.
think that's sort of what it boils down to, which essentially is what you were saying as well. But it is time for us to take a break. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes. We'll send it to Jimmy, and then we'll cover some more nerd culture. So stick around, guys. We'll be back. Back from our third and final break. It is Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, Prime Nation Live. So, before Jake gets out of here to get back to his free comic book day prep, let's get a spoiler-free review of Guardians 2.
So,
Well, I guess I should specify because there was that Russian movie called Guardians. We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Did you really have to specify that?
Yeah.
Hopefully
that
not,
for the
but
joke?
with our big Russian audience.
Are we being hacked right now?
Putin's a big fan
I have
of
some
Prime
bad
Nation
emails.
Live.
This isn't good.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I mean, it was hysterical. I mean, it was comedy level was maybe even more than the first one. Lots of bickering, lots of fun. It was, but it was, I don't know, it was fantastic.
Did it
movie.
let you
It's just-
down in
it's
any
just-
way?
It's not. It doesn't have quite the magic of the first one that where you just kind of. It was just a really good Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I mean, it just
There's something special about the first one when, like, if you're like me, I wasn't really familiar with the characters. There was something fun about getting to know them.
Yeah.
And you're
Agreed.
not going to have that in the second one because there's a familiarity that comes with them. And then,
Baby Groot makes me want to have a baby. He is so awesome.
So
that it's
Baby
like-
Groot is as awesome as the trailers are making him look.
every bit of it, and it's he definitely kind of made the movie to me. The story was a little like, it's just not as good as the first one.
Yeah.
But the actual interactions, the comedy, I mean, everything was on the same level. The music was on the same level. So you're gonna have an absolute blast. It's
Nice. So there are 5 post-credit scenes, right?
yeah, they're all just kind of like really fun, funny.
Okay.
Real quick
Nothing
things.
too far-reaching in terms of the MCU.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
I mean, there's a couple things that they show a couple of characters that they've never shown before, which is really cool. I don't want to mess anything.
Yeah,
up.
no, 'cause
yeah.
I think you guys are gonna kick
Yeah,
that
we're
out.
all planning to see it at some point
I'm
this
very
weekend.
familiar with like the Marvel cosmic side. I was familiar with the Guardians of the Galaxy before that movie came out, and for me, it was just such a joy to see those characters brought on screen. I was so happy to see them do that right.
Yeah, and this one, they kind of explore a little bit more of the Guardians' history as like from the comic book standpoint, just in kind of fun little clips.
Nice.
But the movie, I mean, I felt like it almost felt like it lasted 30 minutes. It was so fast.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun. I think everybody's gonna really enjoy it.
And how big of a role does Stallone have? Like, how much screen time is he on there?
I don't know how. I think I remember hearing that he was going to be in it, and I totally forgot. I mean, he's maybe 10 minutes.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
Not, it kind of, but he was cool.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. I mean, it goes without saying. I think everyone in the world is excited to see this movie, but I know.
Everyone in the galaxy, you might say.
Cameron, you're thrilled, right?
I actually
do
really.
want to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It's one of those few Marvel movies.
This is
I
where
actually
Cameron and
like
I
to-
can talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Guardians of the Galaxy as
And-
well, and it's probably because I knew nothing about their world or what was going on, so I didn't have any attachment to them. And like Tyler was saying, when you're discovering the world of any character, that's what it's always fun
Yeah.
and exciting. So
Plus, like, I really feel like the soundtrack plays
Oh.
such a big role just because
All that classic
nostalgia.
rock.
Yeah, nostalgia, and then also it had to have gotten in a bigger audience than any. I don't want to say that people saw it just for the soundtrack, but hearing those songs in the trailer and knowing that they sort of rely on those songs to be a backbone of the movie.
I mean, it was almost like from a writing standpoint. The tape was almost a character. Like it meant so much to him.
Yeah,
That it was. I mean, it was heavy. It was
Yeah.
really cool.
You guys were talking about getting the cutting edge of the latest things. You wanted to have everything you could on the cutting edge of the comic book world. They're selling Dorito bags
Yeah, have you guys picked up any of those?
with the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack made into the bag. So you can plug in headphones, press
Yeah.
play.
I saw that you can order off Amazon.
I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna look it up. I don't know
Come
if
on.
I don't know if they're even still
Dude,
available.
They're out. They could be. You could have already missed the boat,
I've been
man.
looking at Free Comedy Day since 2011. All this good stuff.
All right, man. Well, with that, yeah, look into the Doritos bag. It's pretty sweet. But with that, we'll go ahead and let you get back to that preparation. We really appreciate you coming
guys.
in, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming
awesome
in.
See you fellas. Fun hanging out. Have a song. Let's do that again.
I'd like
Yeah. Give us a little
Bye-bye.
courtesy there.
We both just were
Bye-bye.
stoked. We gripped quick, man. It just happens.
But yeah, man, you and Ben always have an open invitation to come on anytime, and we'll try to get you both in here next month.
Yeah, fantastic.
Perfect. So I guess we'll hand Jimmy the headphones. We'll pass it off that way, and hopefully you won't get lost on your way out of here. I know it's like a labyrinth.
Yeah, you're gonna see my body. Just
It's worse than the bank
There's a
vault.
weird smell, it's me.
Oh, he died 5 minutes after he left. This isn't.
Like, very quickly.
Later, man.
sounds so weird having the cans on my head now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Totally different dynamic now.
I really did like the soundtrack of Guardians of the Galaxy.
What was
all
your
that
favorite?
stuff.
What was your favorite song?
The Journey song? Didn't they use the Journey?
Let me think. Man, one of the ones that they used
I don't know. I
in the
just know
trailer
about
for the first one, it made the trailer.
Luka Shaka or
No, it was the other big trailer.
I believe the Jesus one. Where
Yes. Spirit in the Sky.
Yeah.
Okay.
God,
you know
the
what?
trailer
That-
with Spirit in the Sky is so good.
Man, that movie knew how to actually use a soundtrack, and then you get Suicide Squad, which is like, hey guys, it's just like that.
Such a wasted opportunity. Like I never again want to see Bohemian Rhapsody on a soundtrack unless they're having an epic fight scene in the heavy part.
Well,
Wayne and Garth could bring it back.
Yeah,
They can do it
yeah.
again.
That's true.
They
That's
can do
true.
it
I
again.
can't say that I don't want to see it on another soundtrack, but yeah, I mean they just snuck it in at the very end with the opening part. That's who cares about the opening part, the Bohemian Rhapsody?
I do. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, I care about the whole song
Well,
too.
that was Freddie Mercury's like baby. Like,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
spent so much time getting all the little intricacies in that song.
You know what's weird too is that Panic at the Disco recorded the version that's on the Suicide Squad soundtrack, and their studio version is not that good. Like even when it gets to the heavy part, it has nowhere near the energy of the original Queen version. But Panic at the Disco does a live version that sounds exactly like Queen.
I saw them do Eleanor Rigby live.
Ooh,
it was really
yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one good thing. That band and Fall Out Boy came out around the same
Yeah.
time, and I was trying to tell people that Panic was so much better, and I
Mhm.
didn't know why. Sometimes I can just hear these
My
things.
girlfriend is massive fans of them both. She just spent, I don't even want to say how much on tickets.
420
for us to
probably
go-
2011.
420 for us to go to Fall Out Boy in November. But apparently,
You know what's cheaper? Dumper.
Boom. Whoa.
yeah, man,
Sorry,
that's
Cameron.
aggressive. But apparently, she always says that Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy gave Panic at the Disco their first like opportunity.
Mhm.
and
Oh,
got
so that's
it.
who I should
him
be
and his
mad at.
him and his big dong.
yeah.
Anybody else
Big
know about
dong?
that? Yeah.
Oh, I
There's
didn't
a
know
Pete
that.
Wentz sex tape. I haven't seen
Oh
it.
wow.
Good
I gotta
sex
talk to my girlfriend
tape
about that,
is the
hopefully.
Chuck Berry sex
Yes!
tape.
Uh-oh. Tyler's all off with
That was sloppy,
Get
just
my
like
head
Chuck
out of there.
Berry's
Oh,
sex
God.
tape.
Yeah, I've heard
That's
that
something
was-
we could talk about off
Wow.
air. Is
Yeah,
good.
that was
I
pretty
kinda
rough,
wanna
isn't
see
it?
like that Back to the
Just
Future.
if you
hey,
like
hey, Chuck, it's your
flatulence.
cousin Marvin Berry. You know that weird kinky stuff you've been looking for? Well, listen to this. I'm sorry. I thought that would be funny.
Who's
Cue
Marvin
My
Berry?
Ding-a-ling by Chuck Berry. That is a song.
Who's
That's-
Marvin Berry?
That's how Tanner interacts with the
Marvin
world.
Gaye
It's
mixed with
it's a Back to the
Chuck
Future
Berry.
scene where
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So this is a hypothetical situation.
yes,
Marvin Berry doesn't actually exist.
I won't talk for the rest of the show.
All right, but with that, real
do
quick, sorry to cram in one more nerd culture thing, but I do want to talk about the Half-Life since we just talked about it
Damn
yesterday.
it, delete the pictures, but keep going. Yeah,
The original Half-Life apparently has been censored in Germany for the past 19 years, ever since it came out. And they just, I believe it was yesterday or maybe the day before, in wake of the Half-Life 3 news, being that it probably won't ever happen, all the writers left.
that's just. I mean, I wanted to talk about it, but it is almost like Half-Life 3 not happening is not even news. It's just
It's like
Uh,
anti-news.
It's confirming what you already knew.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
Yes.
I don't know if they did this as a response to that or if the timing was just coincidental. But they released Valve released a new version of Half-Life for Germany that can be downloaded where you're no longer killing Marines, you're going to be killing robots, and instead of blood and guts, you're just pouring out like gears and springs and stuff like that. And you can no longer kill innocent people. Whenever you shoot them, they just sit down and shake their head disappointedly at you. And there was one other thing.
Are you serious about that last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
100%
I mean-
serious.
I
Yeah, they
mean,
just sit down and shake their heads.
Yeah, and well, no, it used to be like that. Now you can play it in the original format.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah. Now they've made it so you can play it as it was.
Yes, and you started
originally
talking. I
played.
was like, they're making this terrible. They're-
Well, they're like, at least they're making it so that they can, they can play it now in Germany. Because
Mhm.
before then, it was like they only had, or. So Tanner, are you saying that the version I just described is the version that Germany had already?
Yes.
with the robots and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now
That makes a
the
lot more
version will
sense.
be the original, more violent, vulgar, I guess.
We don't
version.
believe in robots in Germany. We're gonna make it
Huh.
so the Marines. That was the thing you were pitching.
Yeah, but so then how is that allowed in Germany?
What they're now making it so that you can kill people and can kill actual humans. It was before censored that you had to do robots. You had to kill robots, and the gears were coming out. Right, Tanner?
Yeah,
Okay.
because Germany has had a long history of
Anti-violence since World War
anti-violence
II.
in their games. Yeah, since World War II and video games. That's actually why games like Farming Simulator come from Germany, and I think Truck Simulator does as well, because they needed to make games, but they couldn't be violent. So we get a lot of non-violent games from Germany. It's just it's just odd that now after all these years. I mean, technically, the game isn't going to play any different, but the aesthetics are going to be different, so it will feel different to play.
Okay,
But
so I was under a total misunderstanding. I thought that they released this version with the robots and with the shaking heads in Germany so that they could download it. So are people essentially breaking the law by downloading this uncensored version now?
I don't think so. It doesn't look like it because it was an update on Steam. I don't think it was a mod. I think that was just a regular update, and Steam would then it would be violating. Of course, Steve does some already shady stuff, so I'm not.
I'm just saying in terms of Germany's laws, is it illegal?
I don't know German law.
Huh. Oh, well.
I'll say that right
I'm
now.
more familiar with German red light law than I am German video game violence law.
Yeah, but I did mean to bring this up yesterday because we barely spoke on it. But yeah, Half-Life 3, the most desired video game sequel of all time, is not happening, and I think I kind of wanted it to happen just so we'd. Actually, no, I don't want it to happen. Excuse me, I don't want it to happen because Duke Nukem Forever used to be that, and then that game came out and was terrible. So I think we should just let Half-Life 3 be this mystery game that will never exist ever.
Yeah, it'll be much better in people's minds than it would be on the screen.
Exactly. And as Gerard pointed out, because all the people who worked on the original Half-Life games are gone, it would be something completely different.
True.
Probably wouldn't be what you want.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, with that, we'll finally send it over to Jimmy, let him talk about some music and comedy.
So since you brought up this Led Zeppelin thing, let's talk about it.
Right.
So
It's not going to happen.
There's a rumor. I don't know. Did you see Jimmy Page's or Robert Plant's website?
What did he said? Like 3 words or something. I
Yeah,
don't
it
even know what
says
they
like
were.
I'm
about to die.
We'll see what happens. Something to that sentiment.
Let's do this. They turned down $14 million last year.
Turned down for
Yeah.
what?
But yeah, and
$14
apparently
million,
the
Tyler.
line from the article says that this year they have millions and millions more reasons why. So, but yeah, people are speculating.
13 million more?
Any time now is what it says. Okay, right here. So,
Oh, that sounds like a suicide note.
Yeah, exactly. I'm about to die. That's
geez, yeah, that is one way to look at it. That yeah, I mean, possibly factual. So the last time they were reunited was in 2007, right? I think so. I think that's what
I was
the article
mad about
said.
it then too.
And I mean, like
that's when I was dodging
Wait.
the rumors about them stealing
What?
Stairway.
Why?
I'm
Yeah,
curious-
yeah.
I'm curious why you were mad about it in 2007.
Because I just like you were wanting Half-Life to die. I want Led Zeppelin to die. I don't want them to. They're not going to put out any new music, but like let it live on the way it was. Like
Yeah.
you could go back and watch the song remains
Yeah.
the same, and kind of you'll probably get more feeling from watching that and your with surround sound than you would be at this show watching them clumsily try to get through stuff. They haven't been doing it like Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger works out like 4 times a day.
Yeah, he's
He
ridiculous.
is a machine.
How much coke does he do to get ready for?
Nobody
Who knows?
knows.
Yeah, I'm sure Keith does more though.
And I wouldn't be surprised if any of the members of Led Zeppelin don't have some of that stuff going on as
yeah,
well.
I'm sure they do.
But I
Yeah.
mean, I can see where you're coming from with that sentiment, and that it's not going to be the same. And like you said, they have John Bonham's son playing drums. Obviously, they can't.
Yeah, that's the main reason. Like
Mhm.
those 4 together were the magic.
Yeah,
that you
and that's
can't
why they
recreate.
disbanded. Yeah,
Mhm.
but a part of me, I have such a love for Led Zeppelin that if there was any way possible for me to be in that crowd, no matter what the music sounded like, I would enjoy it. I would just like to see them on the stage again together, at least the 3 of them. And who knows what kind
Whatever,
of shape
man.
they're
when
all
they
in.
did Unplugged, they didn't even invite John Paul Jones. It was just Jimmy Page and Robert Plant.
Really?
They're douchebags, and I love them.
Well, and I mean they've had problems with each other, haven't they,
Yeah,
over the
well,
past
I mean,
couple
you
years?
think about the egos.
Yeah,
in that band. But it's always been like about Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. John Paul Jones used to talk about like when they would play live, they would want him up front more, but he just kept going back to John Bonham's drums because they're the rhythm section. They want
Yeah.
to be a unit. He would just
Yeah.
get closer and closer and closer to him, and that's just how it.
And I'm hard
naturally
pressed
happens.
to think of a song where the bass is really prominent with Led Zeppelin. Like
Yeah, he's not.
maybe No Quarter, maybe parts of No Quarter.
You
But
don't try to discredit him. He's part of the magic, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you can't like just replace him.
oh
with anybody
yeah,
else.
absolutely not. But it's not like
Yeah, he's not writing.
for
the
instance,
riffs.
Cliff Burton, who like you could
Yeah.
obviously think of his contributions. There's certain Metallica songs that
Mhm.
like without his
Okay.
bass wouldn't have made it anywhere near
Mhm.
it is. But granted, he is part of that rhythm section. So.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's the Led Zeppelin news, is that they're possibly reuniting this year, if you can call it reuniting
what's
without
the name of
John
the
Bonham.
festival? Desert something. I know people
Storm?
call it Old Cella because it's always like old bands like Bob Dylan and the
That's funny.
Are
Who.
you talking about Farm Aid?
Might as well be.
Let's
Farm Aid,
see.
2011.
A desert trip.
Desert Trip.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Old Cella. Wow, man. I cannot get over how Jimmy Page looks these days. He has the like slicked back silver hair. So interesting.
I'm sure he wears the sunglasses all the time.
Yep, probably so. You can do that though when you're a rock star. But anyways, so that's a Led Zeppelin news. Oh my God! Now I'm getting these lightsaber ads.
What have you done?
As far as music goes, I have not listened to Damn yet. Are you guys
really?
mad at me? Victor, you would
Kendrick
say
Lamar?
something.
Anything
Yeah,
from
Oh,
it?
did you see the music video for Neighbors from J. Cole?
No. Is
pretty
that where
good.
the cops are breaking his
Yeah.
house? Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is
So
that the
happens in
one that's-
Fayetteville.
Neighbors
listening.
think I'm selling dope.
Is that the
That
one
one.
that's based on like the true story where his house got raided?
I thought it was real footage
Oh,
from
okay,
his
yeah.
camera.
Yeah, it's
It
real
probably
footage.
will.
Yeah, yeah.
It probably is then.
Yeah.
Apparently in the HBO documentary that I tried to watch and was bored out of my mind.
Oh, there's
Really?
an
I
HBO
feel the
documentary
same-
on J. Cole?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Don't know.
Dreamville, I think.
Cole World?
Probably something like
yeah,
that.
something
Okay.
like that.
I don't know why. I can sit there and listen to J. Cole and hear that his lyrics are great, but it's boring to me. It's
Same
not, it
here,
doesn't do
dude.
anything.
That's
At least
been my
Kendrick Lamar's
thinking.
got some fire and stuff.
I-
going on.
His voice is really unique and stuff, but that's been my thinking on J. Cole the whole time. Is I know he's an excellent lyricist, but it's just so run of the mill.
His last album, or the last couple singles that he was putting out, like the one about gods. You know what I'm talking about, Cameron?
No.
Okay, it's the one, or no, maybe it's No Role Models. I'm not sure, but there's one where he's basically saying like, I think he's dissing Kanye or somebody. He's like, there's a reason he went insane. It's all your fault, and he's getting a little preachy to
Okay.
me. I feel like he's getting a little preachy in that one single, but the Neighbors one is pretty good. I like it from what I heard so far. I don't know if that's the finished song or just like a little sample of it, but I really enjoyed
I have
it.
sampled some of this new Kendrick album, and it is great from what I've listened to. It's
I still
Humble
haven't-
track, DNA track.
Yeah. I still haven't listened to it the whole way through, but Humble and DNA are the two that are the most that I've.
And that's
played.
what I want to do is listen to it all the way through because everybody's still talking about it, still talking about like it as a masterpiece. Now there's all these theories coming out online about how like if you listen to it backwards, he's coming back to life, and when you listen to it forwards, he's killing himself or something like that. Vice
And if
versa.
you listen to it with Wizard of Oz, he's actually
yeah. Well, this is the kind of stuff I do like. I like all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
yeah.
but I haven't listened to it just because the hype is so high on it right now. I don't want to go in and say it's not that good. I need to like wait a
That's
minute.
been my thinking
that happens
so
with
far,
movies
man.
all the time.
Because I always compare Kendrick to Section 80 and then to Good Kid, Mad City.
Mhm.
And in terms of like a cohesive album, I don't think you can top Good Kid, Mad City. And to me, Damn doesn't seem like such a cohesive album. Like there are through lines and stuff like that. And like he's always done, he's used recordings and stuff like that. And it, like I said, I haven't finished the whole album. I've made it at least halfway through though, and I couldn't really pick up on like a narrative that he was saying, which
See, I would have to I would have to like alter my state of mind and like listen to it with headphones on to like get that part out of it. But it's a fun, just casual listen from what I've heard too.
I can't listen to rap that intensely.
Yeah,
like that's like small town North Carolina hit me. I'm like, it sounds good, but I can't pick out the words they're saying.
See, that's the way I love. I've always been like extremely lyrically motivated with music. Like that's the first thing I focus on. But then what I love about all of Top Dog Entertainment's music is that their main engineer Ali, he's so masterful. Like he mixes in ways that no one else does, where he brings out the intricacies both in the voice and in the instruments at the time, where like the mix itself is a part of the art. Like
I'm not familiar with this. What's his name? Ali.
Yeah. And
last
what is
guy I heard of was Zaytoven.
Oh yeah. And what was the big one of the big singles from Good Kid, Mad City, where he talks about Taylor Swift?
It's not.
His
it's not
penis-
swimming pools, is it?
No, his penis is as big as the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, that's Backseat Freestyle.
Yeah,
Backseat
at the
Freestyle.
end of
My roommate freshman year listened to this album every day.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where it ruined it for me.
Yeah.
So I want to like this one more, but I I bet you I could do the whole verse
Well,
to that.
my roommate in 2011 listened to the big Macklemore song from that year nonstop.
Thrift
Ooh.
stop.
Thrift
Yeah,
store.
thrift
So what
store.
about Can't
So at
Hold
least
Us?
you
Can't
had
Hold Us was another big
at
one.
least you had better than that going on because it was literally just nonstop.
I'd rather listen to Macklemore.
And the fact that Macklemore won a Grammy should let you know that Grammys
It's because
do
I
not matter.
don't find that much merit in Macklemore, but he ruined a decent Kendrick album for me.
Yeah, I that makes sense. That makes
It's like,
sense.
oh, I loved a thrift shop before he ruined it for me. It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's just always going to kind of be that. I'm going to hear it 15 times on the radio every day.
Oh God, I can't stand that song. But yeah, and at the end of Backstreet Freestyle, he goes, "Let it run, Ali." So that was the first time I was like, I looked into that. I was like, who is he talking about? And then it turns out Ali is their mixer who mixes all of TDE's albums.
It's Ali G.
If only. But and like that, you know, their music stands apart from anyone else's, I think, for the mix. And like he's done his own documentary series and stuff like that where he talks about the process where
I
you
would
know
probably really enjoy that.
yeah, it's
Weird
so
show.
cool, man. I mean, I feel like, and this is, you know, typically the case with professional music productions where you spend a lot more time in the post-production, you know, generally like 10 times longer with post-production than you do the actual recording of the album. But, I mean, you can tell, like, there's a clip of him in the documentary thing that I saw where he's listening to the same 2 seconds of the song, like 40 times over and over, just raising different levels and the equalizer and stuff like that.
That's why he makes the big bucks. Though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the fact that you said Kendrick called out to him. This is like a lead singer calling out to the guitar player to take the solo.
Yeah.
That used to happen a lot in like the 70s and 80s. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, very true, very true.
I really get a kick out of Poison. Really, really crappy band. But Bret Michaels calls out the guitar player CeCe all the time.
Really?
I think that was part of the reason why I wanted to play guitar is because I wanted to play like CeCe.
You wanted to get a shout out.
Well,
from
he
your
was
lead singer?
actually classically trained as a violinist, so he wasn't like,
Interesting. Yeah, I always like
those
hearing
guys
about.
can shred, but they can't like make up their own stuff that's interesting. But
Yeah.
they can, like,
I always like hearing about guitarists who you find out were like trained in flamenco and stuff like that, and then they just like the super heavy power chord, heavy music and stuff like that.
Metal's very math driven.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot
Especially-
of people don't want to give it credit.
Yeah, there
for
is
that.
math rock, isn't there?
Yeah. But like especially when it comes to hardcore, like recent hardcore and stuff,
Yeah, a lot
it's
of that
so
progressive
technical,
stuff.
man.
Yeah,
It's
you got bands
wild.
like Dillinger and stuff like that, but bands even get crazier than that. It's-
Mm-hmm.
It kind of takes the fun out of it sometimes because I just want to hear like a good song. And if you're trying to break it down, Tool has a song that's all
Yeah, about the Fibonacci sequence.
Fibonacci sequence,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can't remember the
and-
name of the song, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. But it's almost time for us to end the show. Do you have any comedy insight for us?
I wanted to talk about Doug hating Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr a little bit on his podcast, but he doesn't really hate them. I think he's just jealous of their level of fame, and he realizes he could be there, and he should be there.
Doug Benson?
No, Doug Stanhope.
Oh.
That's the only Doug that matters.
I thought
As a
Doug
stoner,
Benson
I
also fit into this. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe if you tried a little bit. He doesn't even do stand-up anymore.
doesn't
He does
have
his
to.
2 podcasts.
Yeah, his podcasts are so big. Though.
He was at the Wild West Comedy Fest. Did no stand-up. He just did his 2 podcasts.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Crazy.
Interesting. Well, it's probably a good thing.
Sorry
Yeah.
about Doug Stanhope though.
No, he's my favorite, of course, and me and Cameron had talked about it last time. He's just the best, but he was hating on Dave Chappelle's specials because Dave Chappelle would take the microphone and hit it on his knee,
Mm.
and he hated that. When that was one of my favorite parts of the special because I just saw Dave having fun and laughing
Yeah.
at himself when he did that.
I bet you Doug also probably hates when comedians laugh at their own jokes.
Yeah, but he just hates everything.
He laughs
That's-
at his own stuff, though.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
up there cracking up.
Oh, he talks about how Wilmington was a bad crowd.
Really?
On his podcast?
Yeah, on his
Oh,
podcast.
it was. That crowd was bad.
Brett Erickson was like, I thought they were all right, but that was before the whole audience got super drunk.
Mhm.
But
It happened last time he was here.
Yeah, that's his.
Yeah, that's his crowd.
clientele.
That's what you
who
invite.
He,
Yeah.
he draws. He knows that.
So is he complaining about it, or is he?
I think he's just realizing the world he's created, and he can't listen
It's
to
his own
Bill
fault.
Burr at all, or he says he starts to take on Bill Burr's like ladies, and he wants
Mannerisms
to- yeah,
and stuff,
his
yeah.
mannerisms and his little, he doesn't want to listen too much Bill Burr because he's such a, I don't know,
Preachy.
powerful voice, and
Yeah.
it kind of gets in him and takes his own voice out. So,
Hmm.
so I thought that was kind of funny because he really enjoys Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle, but he just wants to bash them at the same time.
There's a story that Timmy told me recently where he was like, it's James Hodge because he tours with Dave Chappelle. James Hodge.
yeah, I know about this.
Okay,
yeah.
do you remember it better than I do? Because somebody told somebody to punch somebody.
Yeah, okay. So James Hodge has been touring with Chappelle as his opener, and James Hodge, I think, commented or said something to Stanhope somehow about, hey, Chappelle wanted me to punch you for talking about him on his podcast or whatever, like jokingly said that. But then Stanhope goes off and he's like, Chappelle listens to my podcast, and then it clicks and he's like, no, he doesn't. James does, and he ratted me out to Chappelle. So then he, basically, I think talked shit to James or whatever, or I think that's kind of along the lines of what happened. And so
Were they in
James,
town
like,
the same
apologized
weekend?
to it.
They, I don't
Close.
think they actually crossed paths.
Okay, so this
Stanhope came through Wednesday, and then James was here Friday. So I don't know how he did it. If they,
So it wasn't face to face.
I don't think
I
so.
don't
Okay,
think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
A little
Maybe
bit of
part
drama
of it
for you.
was maybe I think maybe they were in Greensboro together or something, and
Yeah,
that's when
maybe.
James Hodge was said Tuesday, like, hey, I'm supposed to punch you in the face, and then later the rest of the interaction probably was through social media
Yeah.
or whatever, where Stanhope was like, Chappelle doesn't listen to my podcast.
Yeah. Interesting. Sounds like someone is just trying to start some trouble.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Well,
Hopefully,
we
I'm
did
sure they'll
today
get
with
over
the
it.
Stormtrooper.
Mm.
That's true. Yeah.
Hope that was some fun gossip for you guys. A little bit
Yeah.
of inside baseball.
Indeed. Yeah. And Stormtrooper guy, we're not sorry. Same for
That is
fan.
He's
going
to travel back to 2011. Take
that
the show
is
out, so this will never happen.
TA28400 to you.
Please excuse me. But guys, that brings us to the end of our show. It's been Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. This was Prime Nation Live. I'm Sydney Roberts. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, SydneyRoberts18.
I forgot I was up next. I'm Tyler Wood. You can find me on Twitter at Tyler W. Wood and on Instagram at Styler Wood. And you can find Prime Nation across all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, iTunes, SoundCloud, Libsyn, and eBay at Prime Nation Live.
I'm Cameron Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at CamboySmith. That's CamboiSmif. Please don't do that anymore.
I'm doing it every day.
I'm Jimmy Smith. Good luck finding me.
I'm Tanner Methvin. You can find me on Twitter at Tanner Methvin and on YouTube, the Sinister Waffles channel.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, we'll be back on Monday. I'm not smart enough to figure out what the date is on Monday, but we'll be back at 10 a.m. So check us out then and enjoy our YouTube channel or iTunes. The 8th. Monday the 8th. We'll be back at 10 a.m. In the meantime, check out our iTunes podcast and our YouTube channel. And like I said, we'll be back May 8th at 10 a.m.